Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Thank you so much for joining me once again on a brand new video. Now, this summer, Arsenal have magnificently done what no one expected. Early signings are flying in, are flowing in like it's never happened. I don't think Arsenal have really had a good summer like this one. Actually, if we keep the same pace, get our priorities, and also bring in some smart signings, this is set to be Arsenal's best transfer window in a decade, in 2 decades, in 3 decades, and probably in 10 decades. I don't see how Arsenal have a better transfer window than this one. In this video, we'll give a chance to you and to me as well to react to our early signings. This is what we're gonna do. We have a tier list here, and we're gonna be ranking them. We're gonna be looking at where they rate 10 out of 10 signings, 8 to 9 out of 10, 6 to 7 out of 10, or 5 out of 10. Honestly, I don't think Arsenal have signed in about anyone below 5 out of 10. That would be below average. I don't think this summer we brought in anyone so far, and even in our targets, I don't think there is anyone linked to us below average. I've not seen that them. So that is what we're going to do in this video. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the podcast, and let me know, where do these players rank? Are they really 10 out of 10 signings? Are they 8? Are they 7? Where would you rate them? Let's get into it. I'll start off with Fabio Vieira. Now, Fabio Vieira signed for Arsenal from FC Porto, 40 million euros. Is he an 8 to 9 out of 10? Is he a 10 out of 10 in your opinion? It's one way where we'll have to have a lot of conversations, but I'll keep him in that 6 to 7 category out of 10. And the reasons why I'll keep him in the 6 to 7 is, yes, it's gonna be a very, very exciting player for Arsenal. He signs for Arsenal in a key position. I think Arsenal just needed that extra creativity. But one, I think is not a guaranteed starter, especially if Arsenal bring in Yuri Tillemans in this summer later. I don't think Fabio Vieira is going to be a guaranteed signing. And even if he is, I don't think it's this kind of player that is that comes in with massive experience, massive pedigree, and all that. Yes, he comes in. I think he will impact this Arsenal side very, very massively, especially if Mikel Arteta decides to use him alongside Martin Odegaard with a single pivot behind them, for provided by Thomas Partey. But I still think there is a lot for him to learn. I think there is a lot of time ahead of him before he produces that kind of quality that Arsenal fans are actually waiting for. Not a bad player, in my opinion. I think Arsenal have really, really got good value for money. Only 40 million euros, actually 35 million euros guaranteed, and then stretching up to 40 million euros plus add-ons. That is not a bad deal, but he's a player that I would rate to a 6 to 7 out of 10. Yes, very, very good goal contributions last campaign for FC Porto as they were winning the league, but I think it's gonna take that time to develop, that time to cope up with the league, and also that time to enter his prime. All that time, I don't think Arsenal fans will be getting the best out of him. So I think it's one that is very, very exciting as a signing, especially that Arsenal did it within a week or even less than that. But I don't think he's ripe. I don't think he's that player that you feel, yeah, he's just going to do it. He's just going to deliver. I don't think he will need some time. But he's not a bad signing. 6 to 7, that is a little bit above average, and I'll keep him there. Now, Gabriel Jesus. This one is where Arsenal fans are very, very excited. Is he an 8 to 9 out of 10? Is he a 10 out of 10? Or is he a 6 to 7 out of 10? I'll put him there in that 8 to 9 category out of 10. I hope I'm right. Now, the reason that's why I don't want to put him in that 10 out of 10 category, first and foremost, yes, he's worked with Mikel Arteta, proven in the Premier League. He's a very, very good bowler, very, very good striker as well. And I think it's a world-class signing to a club like Arsenal. Coming in from a club in the UEFA Champions League and compromising those levels and standards and agreeing to play for Arsenal even without UEFA Champions League, that is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to say it's good work from Edu and Mikel Arteta to convince him. But why I don't think it ticks that 10 out of 10 box? One, I think a striker that is massively having questions with his XG and clinical finishing. He really needs to work on that. And I also think, despite the fact that he's coming in from Manchester City, I don't feel he's far away ahead of of what we had in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Yes, Aubameyang was class. He had his own problems and everything. But if I'm to compare them, I would put Aubameyang in that 8 to 9 category. And for me, Gabriel Jesus, I think Gabriel Jesus will score less goals for Arsenal than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in his first season. In the first season alone, right? I think he'll score less goals because I think with Gabriel Jesus, you have a player who's very, very, handy, has a lot to offer on the table. He's going to impact games for us. There is no question there. He will score some goals for us. Honestly, there is no question about that. But I'm not yet that convinced, right? I'm not yet that convinced to put him in that 10 out of 10 category. But 8 out of 10 is not bad. Played in the Premier League, played in the UEFA Champions League, is a winner as well. Comes in a priority position that Arsenal have been desperately looking to fill right from January after the departure of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I think, yeah, it's a good signing. It's a very, very good signing. So I'll put him at an 8 to 9 out of 10. That could mean 9.5, by the way. That could mean 9.9, honestly, right? But I'll rate him in that 8 to 9 out of 10 category. I think if we signed in Haaland, that is when I would go for a 10 out of 10 in there, honestly. Rafinha, where would you rate this one? Would you just take it to the 10 out of 10 category? Because I would. I'm going to rate Rafinha in that 10 out of 10 category. And this is the reason. What you're looking at, the difference between Gabriel Jesus and Rafinha, in my opinion, is the expectation, one, and also the kind of work both of them have been doing. I think with Gabriel Jesus, with game time, he will score for you goals. Rafinha is a guarantee. Rafinha is an absolute guarantee. It's going to be a cut and copy for Mikel Arteta. He's thinking about getting Rafinha out of Leeds United and pasting whatever Rafinha has been doing for Leeds and putting it into, Arsenal Football Club. I think Rafinha coming into Arsenal is going to be an absolute success. I do not see in any way, shape, or form how Rafinha comes in at Arsenal and fails to be, brilliant. But why I also rate him at a 10 out of 10 as a 10 out of 10 signing, he's coming in a position where Arsenal have Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe, Pepe, and Saka. That shows you that is massively ahead of these guys that Arsenal are willing to pay, a fee over £55 million to get him at the carpet. Right? So I'll definitely rate him at a 10 out of 10 signing. If Arsenal got him, I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be wonderful for Arsenal. I think it will just give us that ability to replicate what Saka does on the right, on the left. Either Saka moving to the left and giving us those numbers, and Rafinha giving us those numbers on the right, or Rafinha doing that on the left. I do not care where he's going to be positioned. I think Arsenal are having a massive signing. That guy, I think. Look, think about it in whichever way you want. Rafinha would be a class signing for Arsenal. It would be a class signing, and all clubs that have failed at this transfer, they will say Rafinha should have been 35. Rafinha is not worth the money. But I think he's one of those players that, for me, will indicate Arsenal going up a level. Just like Liverpool signed Mane and Salah on those flanks. That is what I'm looking at. I think Rafinha comes in, is going to average 15 goals per campaign. He's going to average 10 assists per campaign. That is elevation. That is absolute elevation. So for me, Rafinha lights, I'm putting him in that 10 out of 10 category. I've always loved him. I've always wanted him. And I would say, yeah, it's a good one. It's a very, very good one. Now, Marquinhos, put him in that 5 out of 10 category. I don't think he... look, the reason I put him in there is... I don't think it's gonna impact the first team right away. That is one of the reasons why I would rate him in the 5 out of 10 category as a signing, not as a player, but as a signing and the kind of impact that signing will have. So we are rating the signing, not the player, right? So he's not going to impact the first team right away, and I also think he's one for the future. So putting him in that 5 out of 10 category means that he could either turn out to be like a Dinos Mavropanos, who actually signed for Arsenal, went out on a couple of loan deals, and eventually Arsenal sold him. Or we could actually bring him in and, you know, he fits into the system and then he works. But until then, we cannot decide. So I'll rate him at 5 out of 10. But don't get me wrong, I'm rating him as a signing and not as a player. As a player, I think he's absolutely phenomenal. Now, Lisandro Martinez. 8 out of 9 out of 10. Yeah, you're gonna say, Cossy, are you rating Lisandro Martinez ahead of Fabio Vieira? I just did. I definitely just did. And I think this is a signing, one, that I think Arsenal will complete. They will complete that one. But I also think it's a signing that when you think about him, you're thinking about an Arsenal backline that has no weakness. I think, you know, he's a player that comes in, yes, as a double cover for Gabriel Magalhaes and Tierney. But why I would rate him in that category 8 to 9 out of 10? One, he's a desperately needed signing. That is number one. I think you need someone to cover for Kieran Tierney badly, and also need someone to cover for Gabriel Magalhaes badly. And the fact that he's gonna come in and you know, bridge that gap, just give us those two responsibilities at the same time, it's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's a player that is you know, used to, or not actually used to, but played at the high level with Ajax in the UEFA Champions League. He also provides us with that, and he's a very, very young signing, 24 years of age. This one, the potential is high. It's absolutely high. He's one of the players that I look at, I'm like, this one has a very, very high ceiling at Arsenal. So I rate him in that category 8 to 9. I think it would be a very good signing for Arsenal. Very, very good. I would actually rate him as the Gabriel, because it's a signing that again elevates your squad. Probably doesn't even start, but just imagine looking at the bench. Kieran Tierney is playing. Gabriel Magalhaes is playing as well, but on the bench you have Lisandro Martinez. The amount of competition is going to bring in that left-hand side of defense is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So, Lisandro Martinez, rating him there at 8 to 9 out of 10. And Matt Turner, 6 to 7 out of 10. Honestly, let me be very, very clear. So, this is Matt Turner, rating him to 6 to 7 out of 10. I think Matt Turner is not as a bad signing as Arsenal fans claim. Many claim we don't even care. We don't care. We do not know about him. That's what you should say. But when we did the unveiling video, I talked about Matt Turner and how magnificent a signing he would be for Arsenal. And I'm not changing my mind. So I'll rate him in that 6 to 7 out of 10. He's going to be backup goalkeeper anyway. And I think it's not to the level of Ban Leno, but one that is going to just keep on, you know, keeping the vibe up, trying to push Aaron Ramsdale. I don't think it's at the level and quality of Aaron Ramsdale. I sincerely think Leno provides better competition to Aaron Ramsdale rather than than Matt Turner. But not a bad signing, honestly. Not a bad signing. Not at all. So that is how I rate our signings. And the general transfer window at the moment, I would rate it out of 10. I'm going to rate it at a 7. Right? If you get these deals done over the line, all of them, it would even go to an 8. And then we'll look at how we deal with outgoings.